This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from PeopleForward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am really jazzed to be adding my friend Claire Chandler to the lineup of great content on Show Up as a Leader. She is the founder of Talent Boost, and she just does incredible work on advising leaders on how to grow their business with intention, with purpose. And her new series that she's launching on the show is called Growth on Purpose. I've had her on as a guest a few times, cannot wait for her to bring her wisdom, her humor, and all that is Claire into this feed. She is going to be providing you with a framework and practical actions that you can lean on to be intentional with yourself, to be intentional with your teams, intentional with your business, and really building a sustainable ecosystem with your talent so that you're ultimately future-proofing your workplace. Take a listen.
Hey leaders, do you think everyone on your team is replaceable? Think again. In today's episode, I'm going to explain why leaks in your pipeline will ultimately sink your growth ambitions. So tune in and listen up. Welcome back to the Growth on Purpose podcast series, where we are replacing the head junk and self-imposed barriers to the growth of your company and getting real about how to expand your business without losing your best talent. I'm your host and leadership therapist, Claire Chandler. Lean in and listen up as we continue to unpack the methodology that will take your business from thrashing to thriving. Today, we're going to explore the fourth and final pillar of the Growth on Purpose methodology, alignment. The full name of this pillar is alignment on what matters. Here's the deal. You will never achieve your growth strategy without the individual and collective contributions of your people. So over these next 2 episodes, we're going to break down how to give your employees a future they can buy into and build so they feel connected to your purpose and enthusiastically grow your business for you. Over time, when the first 3 pillars, aspiration, awareness, and acceleration, aren't strong enough, and you don't have the 4th pillar in place, you end up with low talent mobility. This happens when your talent isn't growing. If you're not able to provide your talent with clear pathways to advance their careers, you create gaps in your succession plans and talent pipeline, which drive up the cost to fill mission-critical positions. And we know this when we look at the data from SHRM and other sources. When you lose a key position holder and you don't have internal ready-now talent to fill their spot, you're forced to look outside for a replacement. And experts tell us that external talent is 18% more expensive and 21% more likely to leave within their first 12 months. Now, for those of you who are saying, yeah, we lose talent, but everyone essentially is replaceable, I have 2 words for you: Peyton Manning. Now, I'm a big NFL football fan, and even if you're not, surely you have heard of Peyton Manning. He was the A player, and in his heyday, he was the star quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. But in 2011, he had an injury that sidelined him for the season. And when that happened, it shone a light on the fact that the Colts had a backup quarterback who was not groomed and was not ready. And the Colts actually went 2-14 that season. The fact that they won 2 games was kind of a miracle in itself. But that wasn't even the worst news. The worst news was that was the same year that the city of Indianapolis hosted the Super Bowl, which meant that if they wanted to go to the Super Bowl that year, they had to buy tickets like everybody else. So here's the thing, though. It wasn't Peyton's job to identify his successor. It was his job to focus on being an A player. When he was on the field, it was his job to lead the team, to run the play, to score the touchdowns, and to get closer to the Super Bowl as a participant, not as a spectator. The job of making sure that he had a viable, ready-now backup belonged to Chris Polian, who was the general manager at the time, and his father, Bill Polian, who was the vice chairman. But because they didn't pay close enough attention to succession, and they pinned all their hopes and their odds of winning on this one A player, when he went down, they were held accountable. The Colts owner, Jim Irsay, who, by the way, just recently passed away, ended up firing this father and son duo for a string of failures, most notably for not having a good enough talent pipeline. So if you're one of those who is sitting there saying, yeah, but everyone in our team is replaceable, I want you to use this story of the Colts as your cautionary tale. Because circumstances happen. The A player that you think is well compensated enough and fulfilled enough and motivated enough not to leave you might win the lottery. They might get a job offer they can't refuse. They might have a change in life that requires them to shift their perspective and walk out the door. Or if you're not nurturing them like you think you are, they might just leave because they're disengaged and disillusioned. But either way, if they leave and you're not prepared with a pipeline of candidates you've been nurturing, ready to step in every time one of your key players leaves, your growth strategy is going to take a vicious hit. So I want you to ask yourself something. Does everyone in your company understand how their role connects to your shared mission? Have you intentionally, methodically helped every person on your team make that connection? And if the answer is no, and trust me, if the answer is no, you're not alone, I want you to think about what that's costing you. Now, if you've tuned into any of my previous episodes of this podcast, you know about our Growth on Purpose assessment, which evaluates your organization's readiness to grow by measuring your health in the 4 pillars of this Growth on Purpose methodology. And again, if you've not taken advantage of that powerful diagnostic, first of all, what are you waiting for? But seriously, go and check it out. You can find it at growthonpurpose.com/assessment. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's completely free. So be sure to do that. And if you've taken it before, maybe at the beginning of this podcast series, and it's been a while, please feel free to take it again. You can take it as many times as you want to. But in the meantime, when we look at the data that we've been collecting through this Growth on Purpose assessment, we see that 55% of employees in organizations that have participated do not see a clear connection between their individual roles and the company's mission. And part of what's driving that misalignment is another finding from the assessment, which is that 86% of companies do not have a mechanism for making decisions consistently that support and facilitate their long-term strategy. So they're essentially winging it. And their people know that they're winging it. And really what that's projecting is the leadership in your organization. If that's you, your people are kind of watching you and saying, they're making it up as they go. They don't really have a plan. They keep changing course. They keep pivoting and saying it's tactical corrections when really they don't have a long-term strategy. And this is why you need to give employees a future to buy into and build. You need to make powerful connections between what they do and why it matters, how it contributes to your shared mission. And the best way to do that is by enabling them to co-create the roadmap toward your future vision. Because let's face it, if you're flying by the seat of your pants and hoping that your daily efforts are moving you closer to your long-term vision, you really are just making it up as you go. So strengthen this pillar, this alignment on what matters pillar, and answer why the right talent not only should stick around, but should grow both your company and their careers. One of the most powerful exercises we do with our clients at Talent Boost is to help them build what we call their decision dashboard. This is a 1-page business diagnostic decision-making tool that has been an absolute game changer for every one of our clients who uses it. And next month, I'm going to walk you through how to assemble one after we take a quick trip to Mars. Intrigued? Good. Be sure to join me next month. In the meantime, email me at claire@talentboost.net. I would love to hear your biggest takeaway from this pillar from this series so far. I hope you've been listening all along. I would love for you to take that Growth on Purpose assessment. Again, you can find it at growthonpurpose.com/assessment. But please feel free to email me. I read and respond to every email from you. And until next month, I want to thank you for listening. And don't forget to keep going, keep growing, and do it on purpose.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to PeopleForwardNetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.